So we're specifically talking about the section, is the dealer's card still hidden? So, what's that called? Is, okay, so on line 221, is the dealer's card still hidden? And that is in this game function. So that's just like a variable in game. So let's jump back to my finished code here. Can I just close this? I don't need that image there. So if I just jump down to game, dealer hidden, I just called it underscore dealer hidden. Is the dealer's card still hidden? And then if we look for the instances where I use dealer hidden, oops. So I'm setting dealer hidden equal to true in the start round. Okay, so when the round starts, we're hiding it. We're hiding the card, and then we're checking to see if it's hidden. Okay, so we're checking to see if it's hidden when we calculate the score. So if it's hidden, then we call this add cards function. We add up all the cards, and if it's hidden, then we remove that very first card from the total. That's really the whole point of that hidden card. And then then we set it to false when we stand, because that's the whole point. The dealer can see its own card finally. Hopefully that makes sense. So I kind of jumped around a little bit, and you don't have to necessarily implement it exactly the same way, but the game needs to operate by those rules. So in some fashion, you need to have that card be hidden until the player stands. And that is a perfect use for a Boolean value, a true false. So, anybody else have any questions about anything? 17, address book, anything else like that? What is the pixel size of the cards? I don't know. Let's see. So, card images. So, 124 by 180. So 124 pixels wide by 180 tall. For address book, do we have to implement a new button with a new function? You should try to. You should implement some kind of you should add a new field and do the error checking on that. And you should try to add some kind of new function of some kind to it. But I guess I didn't make that a strict requirement, did I? I don't remember. I know I kind of waffled on that. I'm sorry. So what did we actually say for the requirement on that? Because I did put up a requirement document on that, right? So I'll stick to whatever we said on that. Oh yeah. So yep, some additional functionality via a button or some other trigger. Yep. So I did put that in the document. So it can be any other functionality though, right? So you can be creative on that. Okay. Um, so if you want to zip up your code and email it over, we can take a look at that. Because I suspect you're not the only one that'll get stuck on that. Am I gonna upload Wednesday's videos? Yeah. So my video capture program, I was having some troubles with it. So it is currently processing the videos from last week. I will get those uploaded as soon as I can. I don't know what's up with it. It had some problems with some. So hopefully I have all of them. I'm giving it another try. I'm hoping it was just some weird error, like disk space error or something. So I cleared a bunch of files out, and so I'm re-exporting things. So I'm hoping it was just out of disk space or something. So thank you for that question. Yeah, I know I promised videos, but yeah, I've been making too many videos, and I think I filled up some hard drive space where I shouldn't have. So. So let me jump over to my email here. Anybody else have questions on in the meantime? Okay, thank you, Javier. It takes a few minutes to sometimes get these. Okay. Okay. Come on, come on, come on. Function. Okay. Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Otherwise, our video recording is going to have very long, awkward pause in the middle. It already is. Good. All good. All right. Sounds like you're making some. Oh, okay. Sounds like you're making some fancy cards. If I want the program to do something, then do I just put in, for instance, deck my dot shuffle? No. So if you want the program to do something, it depends where in the program you want it to do something. So if you are doing something at the very bottom, like in the general functioning of the program, you're probably going to create a function inside of game, and then you're going to call game dot whatever. So game dot setup, game dot button set. If you're creating a function that is called within game by another function in game, that's where you use my. You probably don't need to create anything inside of deck. Okay. So, Javier, this first one that you sent, was this one wrong? Okay. If you want to use something inside of deck, okay. So I'll delete this first one then. If you want to use something inside of deck, can you give me an example? So if we look at cards, if we look at deck, the create part of the deck. So, okay, so you want to add something into here. If you want to add something into here, you can just add it in here. If you want to create another function, you can just create a function like my dot new function equals function new stuff. Like that. And then you can, within here, you can call my dot new function for another part of the program in the game portion. Why do you want to put it in deck then? So, kind of the idea of object-oriented programming is to keep things encapsulated. Okay, so that allows us, I could just, in this case, I can just collapse this, and I don't have to worry about this stuff. I'm like, there's a deck, and it has some properties, and I kind of don't have to worry about that a lot. So, okay, for instance, there's a part in the game portion that says, mine creates and shuffles the deck. Okay, so okay, so you're saying like this, create a new deck of cards, and then I think we. No, your email did not come through yet. So here we're calling deck create deck shuffle in setup. So I mean, if you could just add, if you put something in deck, you can just call it from within game like this. Not sure why you'd want to do that though. Like, what else would you want to do besides create it and shuffle it? or if you're just using this for an example, like this is how you do it, just like this. If you're just wondering. Okay. 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 Now I got your code. I don't know if does that answer your question, Ryan? I don't know. I feel like I didn't answer that properly. And maybe I didn't have this in the. Maybe you just didn't see this before, which is totally understandable. So yeah, if you want to call things from deck, this is how you do that. So if you have your deck variable, you just call the functions based on that. Okay. Do you have to create the deck variable or is it in the function? Let's take a look at that. So in your 17 starter, create a new deck of cards each game. So yeah, so you have to create. So you'd have to have let deck equal new deck, like that. Something like that. Okay. So I probably went over that a little too fast when I went through that before. So to see that in the real code, like this, create a new deck of cards each game. Okay. All right, let's jump into Javier's code here. So, yeah, sorry about that. Okay, so let's just see what we're trying to do here. Okay, all right, so you have a flag button that you want to activate. Okay, so line 435 is where you're having a question. All right. Oh, okay. 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 So why are you calling it flag JSON? Were you going to do something else with this before? Is that just a weird name? I don't really know what to enter. Okay. Nation. Can I delete the shuffle GIF? Yeah, you can. Yeah, I mean, you can change anything you want, Morgan. Yeah, anything in there that you don't want to use, you can change totally. So, okay, so what I was wondering is this name, you're not doing anything with JSON though, right? That you just named it this just for because. Okay, that's good. That's good. I just didn't want to confuse myself. Okay, so you want to, the idea is you want to take in this nationality and you want to have it display the flag. Is that the idea? Instead of displaying the text, you want to, okay. All right, so, and you want to have that happen when you click the flag button. So the flag button will do this when. Should it dynamically go through all of these and toggle flag and text? Is that the intention? Okay. So that's somewhat complicated. So then I wouldn't be. Then I wouldn't really worry about the nation, the new nationality field. I wouldn't be concerned with this. I'd be concerned with whatever the field is when you save data in here, right? So whatever the fields are in here. So you might have to give some of these an ID or a class and change them in here if that's what you want to accomplish. So you might have to give this a class and then change this item. Probably the easier way would be to have it when you display each contact, have it print both the flag and the text, and then have a default setting where it hides the flag, and then when I hit the flag button, toggle that and hide the text and display the flag, and then hold that state in a Boolean value and then flip it back. Okay, so then you're just changing the state, and you could just add a class to that to control that hidden state. Does that make sense? There's a lot of stuff packed in what I just said, but that's the easy way of doing that. Okay. So let me think of a better way to explain it. So when you're adding the nationality here, not when you add it, you can just add this normally. But what I would do is let's go to your code. When you are printing a contact, in here, so when you print the nationality, I would just copy this and I would say class text, I'd say nationality in here. And this is going to wrap, so you'd have to fix this. Let's see. So let's just copy this. And then I'd say flag. Actually, we can just shorten this down so it fits. Okay. And then instead of a P, we could just have a image. And then we'll have source equals plus let's see. So then we'll say nationality plus dot JPEG, something like that, and then close it off like that. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is you could print this and you could print this right away. So you'd print and actually we can get rid of, probably get rid of this card text. Probably don't even need that. I don't know. Okay, but so anyway, you'd print both of those things right in here when you print, and you could base the image off of this nationality field somehow. Okay, and then you could just use that flag button to toggle which of these two items shows by just doing display hidden on all of these. Okay, and we've done that. So in 17, we're kind of doing. We talked about how we would accomplish that. We're doing that in address book where we're showing things, not showing things. In the travel calculator, we kind of talked about how to display things and not display things. So you can try. I would try going down that path. So that'll simplify the code for the flag button. So you really shouldn't have to add much at all to make that work. Why write in between source and JPEG nationality variable? I'm just saying to make it easy on yourself. So if I write into nationality, and in fact, I wouldn't just allow them to write whatever they want here. I would make this a drop down so that they could, they would select like, they would select whatever the nationality is, right? So they select Mexico, or Canada, but I'd have a drop down so that the whatever's stored in there is the correct spelling, and then you base the file name off of that, of what this field is. So I would probably make this a drop down, or so either one of those select drop downs or radio buttons, something so that the user isn't just typing whatever they want in there. Or you have to do some error checking. Okay, so then you can just have Canada.jpg, and it could be the Canadian flag. So all like that. Doing that just makes it easier on yourself, because otherwise, I don't know how else you would do that. You'd have to do some error checking, and that wouldn't be super user friendly then. Somebody from Canada, you'd say you spelled Canada wrong. I mean, maybe. If they spelled it with a, lowercase c, something like that. Or if they, more likely, they might spell it in all caps, and that might not work. And that would be valid. Like for an address, that might be a valid address. Yeah, that's a great idea, though. I think that's a great feature to add, though. Good idea. So, who else has a great feature like that you want to talk through? Or did everybody get theirs working? You guys all good? Everybody's amazing? You're just waiting on me to get those videos uploaded? Okay. Finished the editor's book before we left. Okay, okay. Good job. Waiting for the video so I can be walked through 17 again. Yep, sounds good. I will have that super soon, hopefully. It's still exporting the one, and I can't start another export till I'm done recording what we're doing here. So if you guys are for real done with all your questions, I can get that a little faster. But I'd rather we answer all the questions while we're together. If anybody has anything else. I got an email. I don't know if you guys got the same email, but I got an email saying that there won't be any pass-fail situation for grading. Yeah, okay. And they explained why. I think that's a good idea. This class ends up being pretty close to pass-fail anyway. People either show up and do the work and do really well, or they don't. Any questions about anything else at all? Any tips and tricks you want to see? Anything you wish you knew how to do that you don't? Anything you're fuzzy on HTML, CSS, JavaScript? You know everything? That's boring. Where can we go to get practice on JavaScript? Well, the very first thing is to get practice on JavaScript. I really recommend, as kind of our replacement for a textbook, is W3 Schools. That's my answer to everything, unfortunately. I think W3 Schools is great because it's kind of like an interactive textbook for what we're doing. I would absolutely go through all the JavaScript code they have there and do the practices and change stuff. You can do it interactively. It's very awesome. They also have somewhat interactive things for Java, C++, Python, but the JavaScript stuff, because it's all web-based, is truly interactive and it works great. It's actually really awesome. There's also an app for JavaScript that Google put out, I think. Forget what that's called. Is that the one that's Grasshopper? Yeah, I think there's an app that Google put out. Actually, we can just Google it, right? Yeah, this grasshopper.app. That's another interactive app. And I believe it's cross-platform. I know they had an iPhone version as Google, so I assume they have an Android version. So this is a great interactive thing. And they have some good, a little more fun stuff. But W3 Schools is pretty straightforward, and it's like they cover the things in the way that I feel is appropriate. So I actually haven't done the Grasshopper thing. I should go through that before I tell people to use it. But I have gone through the W3 Schools, and it's really solid. So anybody else have any unfinished code you want to take a look at as a group? Anything you're getting a bunch of errors on, we can do that too. I think that's actually one of the most productive things we can do. Does anybody have any? If you're finished with your stuff, anybody have anything awesome you want to show off? Okay. Has some questions after playing around 17. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. Going once, going twice. I'm going to stop our recording so we don't just drag on and on that. Have my card done. I guess that's cool. You want to show it?